Hello everyone. So today's topic of demonstration is the thyroid gland. So I'm starting with the model of the thyroid gland which we have in the museum. So here is a model showing the structure is a hyoid bone, a structure as the thyroid cartilage. You can appreciate one membrane between the hyoid bone and the thyroid cartilage. This is thyrohyoid membrane. You can appreciate over here as a thyroid gland. You can appreciate over here as the tracheal rings. As you go posteriorly, you can see this structure as the esophagus, and which the upward continuation is upward continuation of this esophagus is the pharynx. This is thyroid gland. So thyroid gland is situated in front of the trachea and the side of the trachea. So you can see this is a thyroid gland. So as you see the parts of thyroid gland, the thyroid gland consists of two lateral lobes, and in the midline they are connected by a structure, and this structure is isthmus. So as you can start the lateral lobe of thyroid gland. So here is the one lateral lobe of thyroid gland. The lobes of thyroid gland is roughly pyramidal in shape. You can appreciate it's a triangular shape, and it has a apex over here, you can see, and it has a base. It has three surfaces and borders. So you can see over here the surface over here, this surface is anterior lateral surface. It has one more surface over here, the surface is posterior lateral surface, and the surface which is the relation with the trachea as a surface, that is the medial surface. So there is a border. This border is the anterior border which separates this anterior lateral surface to the medial surface, and this is the posterior border which separates this posterior lateral surface from the medial surface. There is no differentiating border between the anterior lateral and the posterior lateral surface. Now there are important relations at the upper pole and the lower pole of the thyroid gland. As you can see, at the upper pole there are two structures which are related. So there is this structure is the external laryngeal nerve coming from the superior laryngeal nerve of the vagus nerve, and you can see this artery. This is a superior thyroid artery which is coming from external carotid artery. These two structures runs together, and as they reaches the superior border, as they reach the superior pole of the thyroid gland, they diverge from each other. You can appreciate this external laryngeal nerve goes deep to the upper pole. So the deep to the thyroid gland, the external laryngeal nerve goes, and this superior thyroid artery actually runs superficial the gland, and you can see over here one branch, descending branch, accompanying the anterior border of the lateral lobe of thyroid gland. So when we do the thyroid surgery and we have to ligate the superior thyroid artery, the ligature should be applied near to the gland, because as near the upper pole these two structures are diverging from each other. So to prevent injury to this external laryngeal nerve, ligature should be done near to the gland at the upper pole, as external laryngeal nerve supply inferior constrictor and the cricothyroid muscle. As you can see, at the lower pole there are again two structures are related. This nerve which lies between this esophagus and this over here as a trachea. The nerve lie in the tracheoesophageal groove. This nerve is the recurrent laryngeal nerve, and the artery at the lower pole is the inferior thyroid artery coming from the thyrocervical trunk of the subclavian artery. You can appreciate these two structures are running away from each other. As they reaches the lower pole of the thyroid gland, they comes together, they comes close to each other. You can appreciate they come close to each other. So when we do ligature at the lower pole for the inferior thyroid artery. The ligature should be done away from the gland, away from the lower pole, to prevent injury to this nerve, which is the crânio-laryngeal nerve. The crânio-laryngeal nerve is an important structure. It supplies the muscles of larynx and also the few muscles of the pharynx, and also sensory supply. So we should be careful by ligating providing the ligature to the artery during the thyroid surgery. These nerves should be protected. So now I'm starting with the prosected specimens. So you can see here is the prosected specimen. You can see this is a midline, and here you can see this structure. This glandular structure is the thyroid gland, which consists of two lateral lobes and connected in the midline by a structure is called isthmus. You can also compare this prosected specimen with this diagram also. You can also appreciate the tracheal rings. We have a thyroid cartilage over here. So as you know, the parts of the thyroid gland which we have discussed already. So we have two lateral lobes, and in between there is a isthmus. So we have three surfaces and two borders of the lateral lower thyroid gland. So surface over here, you can see this surface is the anterior lateral surface. This surface is anterior lateral surface over here, and you can also appreciate this part over here. This is a base of the thyroid gland, which extends up to the 5th or 6th ring of the trachea. So you can say these are tracheal rings, and this base extend up to 5th to 6th tracheal ring. You can also appreciate over here there will be the apex of the thyroid gland, and this surface is a superior lateral surface. The border over here, this border is the anterior border. You can see over here. Now I'm going backward. This surface is a posterior lateral surface, where I am putting the forceps. This surface is a posterior lateral surface. There is no demarcating border between this anterior lateral and the posterior lateral surface. And you can also appreciate apex over here. This is base. Apex extend up to the oblique line of the thyroid cartilage. So you can see here is the oblique line of thyroid cartilage, where from one muscle is taking origin. That muscle is the sternothyroid muscle, which we will see later on. So this is the apex of the thyroid gland. This is the base of the thyroid gland. This is superior lateral surface, and this surface is a posterior lateral surface. And the border over here is the anterior border. And this specimen, now you can see another surface which is in relation of the trachea and also the esophagus. This surface is the medial surface of thyroid gland. So we got the three surfaces of thyroid gland: anterior lateral, posterior lateral, and we have a medial surface. Now you can see this anterior border separates the anterior lateral surface from the medial surface. Other border which you will see posteriorly, this border is that border will be the posterior border that separates this posterior lateral surface from the medial surface. Now as you can see, this is the apex of thyroid gland, which is in relation to important structure, and you can appreciate this artery is the external carotid artery. This is external carotid artery, and this anterior branch of this artery is the superior thyroid artery. Superior thyroid artery is related to the apex of the thyroid gland, and here it divides into one branch, descending branch, and one posterior branch also. So one branch over here, this descending branch actually runs along the anterior border of the thyroid gland. This is the anterior border of the thyroid gland where this artery runs, this branch. And as you go deep to it, you can see this structure. This structure is the external laryngeal nerve. External laryngeal nerve is a branch of vagus nerve. It's a branch of vagus nerve, and it lies deep to the apical part or the apex of the thyroid gland. So the earlier these two structures, the superior thyroid artery and external laryngeal nerve, runs together, and they approaches the upper pole of thyroid gland, they diverge. As you can see, external laryngeal nerve goes deep to the apex, deep to the gland, and the superior thyroid artery is the superficial to the gland. You can say here these structure diverge from each other. These external laryngeal nerves supply the muscles over here. The muscles are cricothyroid and inferior constrictor of the pharynx, which I will show you later on. So these are the important structure at the upper pole of the thyroid gland: superior thyroid artery and the external laryngeal nerve. During the ligature, during the thyroid surgery, we should be careful for the external laryngeal nerve. As I reflect this part, lateral lower thyroid gland, and we can see the relation on the lower pole. So you can appreciate as I reflect this part of the thyroid gland, and here you can see these two structures are related at the lower pole. Structure over here, this structure is the inferior thyroid artery, which is coming from the thyrocervical trunk of the subclavian artery, from the first part of the subclavian artery. So here is the inferior thyroid artery, and this nerve which I am holding by the forceps, this nerve is the recurrent laryngeal nerve. So this is the inferior thyroid artery coming from the thyrocervical trunk of subclavian artery, and this nerve is the recurrent laryngeal nerve. As you can see, as these structures are away from each other, and as they reach near the lower pole of the gland, they comes together. You can see they are overlapping. So when we do ligature at the lower pole of the thyroid gland for the inferior thyroid artery, we should be careful for the recurrent laryngeal nerve, because recurrent laryngeal nerve is very important structure which supply the laryngeal muscles and also the sensory supply, and also some inferior constrictor part of the pharynx muscle. So we should be careful for the recurrent laryngeal nerve at the lower pole. Again you can see this is recurrent laryngeal nerve, inferior thyroid artery. Recurrent laryngeal nerve is a branch of vagus. Again very beautifully you can see over here is a recurrent laryngeal nerve, and this is the inferior thyroid artery. Now some relation of the thyroid gland. So you can see over here, this is a lateral lobe of thyroid gland, and on the medial surface there are structures related, and these are the muscles over here. You can see this is inferior constrictor muscle of the pharynx, and here we can see this muscle is a cricothyroid muscle. These two muscles are in relation to the medial surface of the thyroid gland. Another structures are the larynx and trachea, and we have a pharynx and the esophagus. These all structures are related to the medial surface of the thyroid gland. As you can see this surface, this is the anterior lateral surface. The relation of the anterior lateral surface are over here. You can see over here we have cut this muscle to see the lateral lower thyroid gland, and this muscle is the sternothyroid muscle. This muscle is coming from the oblique line on the thyroid cartilage. So this muscle is coming from the oblique line of the thyroid on the thyroid cartilage. So as you can see over here, we have a inferior constrictor of the pharynx here and sternothyroid muscle over here. So apex of the thyroid gland is sandwiched between the inferior constrictor medially and the sternothyroid laterally. So that's why the thyroid enlargement cannot extend above due to this attachment of these two muscles. And another structure which are related on this anterior lateral surface are sternohyoid muscle, superior valley of omohyoid, and sternothyroid, which we have already seen over here. This is sternothyroid muscle. On this posterior lateral surface, I can see over here, this is the posterior lateral surface, and there are the carotid sheath along with the content. So you can see, you have already seen the external carotid artery, and we have a internal jugular vein and the vagus nerve behind that. So we have a carotid sheath along with the content that in relation of the posterior lateral surface of the gland. Now the structure, the medial surface, from the medial surface of gland, we have a structure which is a thickened false capsule of the gland. So false capsule of thyroid gland is derived from the pretracheal fascia, and at the medial surface is thickened, you can see over here, and form a ligament. This ligament is called ligament of Barry, which connect the medial surface of the lateral lobe of thyroid gland to the cricoid cartilage. So we have a cricoid cartilage over here. It connects the cricoid cartilage to the medial surface of the thyroid gland, and that's the reason that thyroid gland moves up and down during the deglutition. So due to the attachment of the ligament of Barry, which is a modification of the false capsule of the thyroid gland or the pretracheal fascia. So that's all about the prosection and the model of the thyroid gland. Thank you so much.